Hey guys, it's me. Back to what I was originally talking about is the suspension. Now the suspension is like an air shock, but I don't have to use a lower coilover kit. All I gotta do is basically take it. It's called skyjackers. That's what they are. They're skyjackers. Skyjackers is you can go to a pump and everything like you pump up your tires and jack it up. It'll save you guys money. It would stiffen the suspension, but check this out. You won't feel the bumps. I'm like racing tune suspension. Like I see all these trucks with lift kits. They just take out the spring to add like a gas shock or something, a heavy duty suspension. Because if you're gonna do a suspension, people, you gotta do a like at least a 3 to 6 inch body lift. You gotta put different stabilizer bars on it underneath. You gotta upgrade your suspension, your spindles, your yeah, 9 times out of 10 you can save your half shafts. But if you get the stabilizer bars underneath, and it's like a strut bar, it's like you could picture two half shafts in the middle. It's like what it would do is make your suspension more sturdy. You weld like a plate there and drilled holes. Think about it, because that would be more or less that would protect the transmission, the the yoke, the drive shaft. It would, yeah, put like a bracket there. So that way, if you take it off roading, make sure you put side guards on it. You know what I'm talking about? The wheel well, like just tape it off and just drill the holes. That way, you can just you know drill it in, being creative, and take the little cappers, and you have to drill a hole in this fasteners. That's what they're called. Same with body kits. Body kits, people, you can do it yourself from home. I even helped my twin put a body kit on the car, you know. But my brother had other people help too. Bottom line is, anybody does creative stuff. I see those two fasteners. Yeah, D, JDM stuff. Cool. I'm not down in JDM or muscle cars. I love muscle cars because it's the V8s to rumble underneath the hood. Now, there's an old saying: a four banger can't beat a V6. A V6 can beat a V8. Why is that? Because you get the power out of it. You know, think about it. If you're doing pistons, how big is it? You might have to basically use truck pistons in a V8. Heck, most V8s are like truck motors, anyways. If you think about it, look at the KA24DE. That's an actual truck motor that they dropped in a 240SX. You know, there's different rear ends, there's different suspension. It's like every vehicle has over 2,000 computers in it. One for ABS, one for lights, hey, you got one for your heat. There's a computer for your heat. It's the unit, it's the modulator. My mechanics actually putting in my turn signal modulator in my car pretty soon. I've been waiting for a long time to get that, so I'm stoked. Also, on that note, is I'm getting my door handles. Yeah, I needed door handles. I'm getting them put on. He got the part. Uh, I'm gonna get my two belts on and my alternator put on the car. So I got most parts for my car already, like 90% of the parts. I basically gotta get my alternator and my car could start up and go. Uh, I'm gonna do an oil change, and I'm sure I'll be able to get it taken, drive, and get some tires. And yeah, I gotta get some cheap rotors for it. So I'm gonna have to spend my money on my rotors. I can't afford to slot it. I'm just gonna get basic rotors for now. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna do it. There's about $92 fall for about 110. I can go to, all right. I can go to what is it? There's this. It's a performance part. It's Hires Performance. You guys, if you live in Fort Wayne, look that up. They have all the performance parts you need. There's performance parts around this. I'll give you a hint. It's a town. I mean, it's all like cool cars. It's people have drop vehicles and they're slammed. I mean, they're slammed. It's like My car is gonna have the illest written on it, my Eclipse. It's a two-tone paint job. It's fucking sick as shit. It's gonna have dad's dog tags on the car. They're gonna be like airbrushed, and it's gonna be pretty. I got kids, and I'm getting another vehicle. That's why I need a four-door. I had a chance to buy a four-door, but I had to get a house. Else, I know it's my hair. I'm letting grow out. Why? Is because I want to. It's like people with anything. I always wanted an apartment. I got an actual apartment. My own first ever place. My first ever place. I'm happy as fuck. Um, you know, I'm not moving out. I'm going to visit the town every so often, Fort Wayne. I know you guys. I don't have a good, people are just doing much of a butthead in Fort Wayne. I had to get out. That's not here or there, but back to what I was saying. If you got something that you want and you waited for, and you think about it, people, what was done to, like, think about it. If the first people didn't design the automobiles, what would we been doing? Horse and buggy. You know, I'm gonna give you a prime example. The Hellcat, the Demon. You know, the, the 392 Hemi is badass, but the car weighs like over 3,000 pounds. The Challenger is heavy as heck. You know what it is? It's all the it's all that metal. It's all the metal. If you could take out the rear quarter panels, take out the door, take out the front doghouse, you're good. The doghouse is the suspension. You got your leaf springs. You got your body lift. Body lift. Okay, when I was helping at Hotheads Motorsports in Jefferson for 2.5 years, they a 3-inch body lift consists of, I think it was a 6-inch, because you can only have a car in Indiana up to the level of the hood goes, you know, up to the hood level. That's proper driving without getting pulled over and getting a huge fine for driving vehicles with too much of a lift on it. You know, the only way you need a lift if you're going off roading, people. Think about it. That's the only reason you actually need a lift. Are you 9 times out of 10? Are you actually using your vehicles for proper use? Put money into it. Tear it up. It's your vehicle. Have fun. Don't let it sit like you put all $100 million in it. Use it. Have fun. Make it last, though. I want to put a lift kit on my Eclipse and put truck tires on it. What, do you think I'm going to do that? Nah. Although that would be cool. Put a Chevy V8 on the hood of my fucking Eclipse. People did it to the Banshees. The Banshee is basically a freaking mean son of a gun. It's a Mazda Miata with, I think, a Ford Mustang engine in it. Or a 350. I think it's a 350. All you had to do is put new engine mounts in. You gotta drill a couple holes, cut out part of the firewall, that hump in there, I'm talking about, to do a V8. It's about $1,200 setup, to do a thorough tune-up. If you really want to get technical, it's expensive. But if you learn from watching videos and doing hands-on stuff I have done for years, like myself, you learn to adapt and you can teach others what they need to be taught. You know why there's so many mechanics out in the world? I'll tell you, just because you drive in your vehicle, it's like, picture the human body. What happens when we continue using the body? Eventually, stuff needs to be replaced in time, right? Hips, you got shoulder blades. My dad, before he died, he had like 7 surgeries, like 2 in one knee, 1 in the other, and 2 in one shoulder blade and 1 in the other. He had a bone tore rotator cuff. But back to what I'm saying, people. If you don't fix the stuff you have, before it's too late, your car is gonna have problems. Me, I didn't reprogram my ECM because when I had my 99 Cougar and I did over 130 miles an hour in it, a couple months later, the engine blew, you know? It's because I'm crazy like that. I put money in vehicles to make them different, and nobody knew what I do to 'em because I I hide the stuff so it looks stock. I want to fix my body on my car. I need one fender and a front bumper. That's all. Oh, a door. I need a door. But the door, you know, eventually I'll fix that. That's that stuff. I'll show you guys how to bend out a fender and fix out a door, pop it out. You know what I mean? My car was in a wreck, you could tell. Or somebody hit it because part of the door on my left-hand side is dented in. So I'm gonna pop it out and I'll show you the easiest way to pop it out without doing it. Then you have to take that your what's it called? You can buy that any AutoZone. It's a depth puller system. And what you do is you pop it out. You gotta bottle it. Yeah, you gotta take out whatever's rust in there. You gotta cut it out. Uh, fabricate by you can do plastic weld to make the body bond, make the part bond to the body. Usually 9 times out of 10, people do a mixture of 50-50 in a bonding. I think some people do, what is it, 2080 or some shit. I forget. And that was a buddy of mine. He did it to a truck. We was working on his vehicle at about 3:34 in the morning, about a month ago. A couple days before I came to Ohio. About a week or two before that, because I was so depressed and I always went to friend's house because I could never stay at Dan's, a homie of mine, my best friend, by the way. He rocks. But back to what I'm saying, people. Sorry I'm getting sidetracked. It's an old habit. I've been this way all my life. Please accept it. Please and thank you. I forget a lot of stuff. Hey, Bubba. Bubba's a good boy. You guys, listen to me. I'm gonna change the subject. Look at this. Wow, a pit bull boxer. Oh my God, a pit. That's mean. Look, see, is that mean? Pits are sweet kids. They really are. They'll lick you. Yeah, dogs are just mean. I, I, I can't talk about it, what happened. They're just mean. Just because I'm nice to animals. They don't need to try to give me a hug no more. um, Never mind. But yeah, I had to push him away. I'm like, no, that's rape. That's no, no. I'm joking, people. But yeah, a long story short, people. I've been on there 13 minutes. You know, um, I'll show you videos more and more what I'm talking about, people. Yeah, I've been talking about stuff, and now I have a place to work on my car. So now I can work on my car. All I gotta do is get a lift kit or cherry. I mean, an engine horse or a cherry picker. A cherry picker is something you just get over, take it between two trees, put a chain over it, and gently use that as the hoist. You can jack an engine. You can take an engine out with okay. To take a proper engine out, you got to have one in the transmission mount. You have one in the front, two on the sides. There's four of them. Sometimes vehicles have three. You got your two engine mounts, and there's a top when you have to do your engine mount. So on the top, there's the transmission mount and the front mount or the other mount. It's like you got to disconnect. I had to do that to my B18A1. I did that. It took me like close to 2 days. For my first job, taking the engine out, it's not bad. Well, not technically. I dropped a 502 engine. And the engine was the same color as the truck. It was over a $10,000 motor, people. He never told me it was. No, no. It had a breather. It had bagged. It was freaking. You can even tell it was air ride. He had two. He had 412s in the cab. 412s in the cab. Well, no. Let me take that back. I think he had 412s in the trunk and 212s in the 412s in the cab. I think it was. It had 210s in the the doors. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Justin. Miss you, bud. Uh, there was a 57 Chevy in there. It had a 355 in it. All it is just bored over and cams and just upgrade, I think. Or you can do a lot of stuff by upgrading your car. You can do a couple things here and there to your car to push out globs and gobs of horsepower. 9 times out of 10, if you're gonna do parts here and there, my advice to anybody, you get all the parts together. Me, I had to buy a bunch of parts to get my car running right. I got close to $1,000 into it. That's on top of the car. That's on top of the money I spent on the car. So people, cars, make them run. Just because you think you gotta go, you know, you gotta get up and go. No, always make sure you check your fuel levels. You know, replace the harmonic balancer. That's in front of the crank, by the way. I replaced water pumps in cars too. Uh, my mechanic had to fix the belt. Uh, but the Jeeps, I always wanted a Jeep. I have a chance to buy a Jeep right now for $900 in Fort Wayne. I want that some bitch. It has a 360 in it. Yeah. Yeah, a 360. You're like, huh? I just say somewhere's been done to the motor. It was originally a 302, I think. Some, but he did some work. He had independent suspension on it. It had new leaf springs, new bushings, new stabilizer unit. But that was years ago, and all that stuff needs to be tuned. So I'm gonna have to replace a lot of stuff eventually. And I don't know if he still has it. It's been sitting for years. It hasn't ran. The four-door car I was talking about, people, there's knocking in the engine. I'm not gonna buy something that would break down 2 weeks later. That's called a lemon. You guys, all these car dealers are buying cars that are from floodplains. You remember hurricanes? Do a Carfax. Do a Carfax. My Eclipse. Yeah, my car wasn't in flood damage. It really wasn't. Right, I love my baby. It came with a cold air intake and DC Sport. Could it be coilovers? Or could it be an air intake? Or could it be exhaust? Because DC Sport is works for it has several parts that are performance for a class of their own. You got your skunk, you got your Gretty, you got your what I mean, parts. And okay, Edelbrock. People use Edelbrock parts on Eclipses and stuff. Me, I tell you the truth, I want to build my own turbo setup. I just need a cast iron manifold because 9 times out of 10 people, the reason you use a cast iron because when you do a ram air manifold, they don't shade the inside. They only clean up the outside because 9 times out of 10, eventually some of the shavings gonna fall in the turbine. Imagine if you're driving at 80 to 100 plus miles an hour and the turbo blows. What's gonna happen? It's gonna send shrapnel to the engine block. In result, you're gonna pop a piston or a rod through the block. So 9 times out of 10, people, make sure you get the right parts. Look around for the best deals. I'm building my car. Yeah, pennies on a dollar to make it look nice. And I'm not telling. My version is, you you try to go around parts. Yeah, it'll be fun. I want to learn how to tuck wiring in my Eclipse. Please, anybody, give me advice how to tuck wiring. Justin tuck wiring Yeah, I helped him tuck it, but I want to learn how to tug it. And that was in a boat, by the way. Uh, in his shop, they had two lift kit golf carts, like the 16s or 18s or some crazy shit with two. It had a CD player in it. It was green and black and like gold flames. It was beautiful, beautiful. Two-tone, I think, paint job. But bottom line is, people, do something you want to do in your life. Myself, I want to work on cars, to open up my own pizza place, to chase twisters. I I I shouldn't say with okay, I'm gonna keep this clean with no clothes on. You know, say, ooh, I'm free. That's what I'm talking about, people. Do stuff what you love. You're not happy, don't bother with it. It's just a big waste of time. It just really is a big waste of time. That's all it boils down to. Look at me, people. Keep down depressed. Huh? You remember what Ahmed said? He loves you. He'll give you a hug. That's right, people. Ahmed, the dead terrorist, would give you a hug. He's like, I kill you. But I don't know how to talk like Ahmed, the dead terrorist. No, I don't kill on you, see? Funny. I'm glad you're back, people. I'm real tired this. Monica, come back to me. Thank you. Live long and prosper, people. Two to kill one to put thing. Also, I know about Wonder Woman, Invisible Man. He said his ass hurts from last Tuesday from, about Superman flying down there, tapping the speed and light. And he bet Batman. Long story short is Batman won. And how he won is Superman told him what happened. Think about it, people. If Superman can fly down there, tap it at a speed of light, and come back and won what he won on there, it's a 2-for-1 for him. He won. He's he's not allergic to kryptonite anymore. Think about it. What's kryptonite? It's a energy it's an energy crystal. That's what that shit is. It's an energy crystal. An energy crystal, you can actually take it and it's like a bang effect, like a big bang. You can take the molecules and break it down to microscopic levels, people. You could take crystals and you can actually take peanut butter. And if you can make it hard enough substance, you can make it into a diamond. But you gotta have equal amount of pressure. Like if you that can kaleidoscope. A kaleidoscope breaks down molecules, and it's like the protons and neutrons, and it's like the Big Bang Theory. Everything's combining and exploding and ramming things into each other like a combustion effect. Heck, look at trains. You got your steam, um, you got your coal, which is steam. You got your diesel automotives, which anything. Have you guys ever thought about using solar panel energy as a substance source of energy for a fuel type of source that you can get it charged from the particles from the sun to amplify the engine to make it run on large amounts of torque to produce tremendous tre, pre, tremendous large amount of an explosion. Tremendous. Yeah, tremendous explosion. It's like that black hole. What happens when a black hole sucks in a planet? It's it's so dense, people. It breaks it down, it stretches it, it it like stretchy. You know, picture it'd be like me. If imagine if you guys really want to know what a black hole is about, what a true black hole is like, I kind of have an idea of a theory of like relativity. It's like this: when you look at a black hole, nobody really knows what's on the other side because nobody has really tested that theories of space. Trump's gonna build what's it called? Space race, like space wars. Like having wars in space, you know. They've been talking about that shit over 20 years, people. You know, space race. You know, yes. The moon, people have several theories about that. Bottom line is I I think it's a 50-50. I don't know. Everybody has their own ideas about that. But back to the original about a black hole. All it is, it stretches you and it takes you. Imagine you're going to look at a raindrop. What happens? It's like a ripple effect, people. It's like a pond. Okay, a pond is like you take, hold on, people. You take a pebble and you throw it. What would it do? It make one little wave to a bigger, bigger, bigger. What the opposite effect with a black hole consists of, people, it will stretch to a tremendous amount. You'll be turning to microscopic particles or little basically matter floating like dust in the wind. And all of a sudden, I believe it's a gateway to another dimension. There's multi-parallel universes. It's a multiverse. The Hubble went all the way to the end. There's mass behind that, people. So we have an idea how we learn from stuff. Believe it or not, all our minerals came from comets and asteroids. Think about it. They're dense rock that is so cold that it was formed by planets come colliding, and small chunks of that rock gets into its gravitational effect. And that's looked at Saturn rings. Saturn's rings is basically an asteroid belt. That's what it boils down to. Jupiter's moons, Titan. Titan's basically a rock that has planetary life forms underneath the surface, people. Believe it or not. Wow, you don't stop learning until the day you die. It's like back to a black hole. We have two black holes in our universe, our galaxy, and people thought for hundreds of thousands of years the Earth was flat. No, people, it's round. All you do is when you fly, think about it. When you fly faster, you slow down time. It's like a black hole effect. It slows down so slow that it's you can't even count that low. It's in negatives. It splits you. It pulls you apart. It stretches you. Man, then there you are. So space is the final frontier. Look at you know how George Lucas created Star Wars? During 1940s, the Roswell incident. Yes, they've actually found categorized UFOs or unidentified flying objects. And in there they found a surgical thing they use today to cut open stuff. The motherboards are in, think about it, cars and computers. You got your satellites, you got your cell phones, you got your freaking radio stations, you got your antenna that connects from the satellite to uplink to the database files of the computer networking. The computer networking binary codes are ones and zeros, which represents everything we learn from data. Just like stars and astronomy, that it goes back past, okay, Da Vinci. There's, do, Believe it or not, Da Vinci actually designed weapons. He designed in kind of a tank that has multiple cannons around it. You know, he also invented, believe it or not, if you look at what Da Vinci did in Picasso, well, Picasso did paintings, the Mona Lisa. Da Vinci did the Mona Lisa. Picasso, he cut off his ear. That dude was strange, by the way, people, believe it or not. But back to what I'm talking about, that everybody from, I'm trying to think one of the original people, uh, Einstein, to he invented equals MC squared, mass times volume times circumference of the circle times itself. Now, if you think about it, 3.141592748, there's over 100, there's probably over 75. I don't know. It's huge. It takes over three chalkboards to do pi. All it is 3.142. That's what it is. You got to carry yeah, basically the six over, and it'll be a one, and you combine it and you add it, and it'll be a two. Now, if you look at it, the dense matter of space versus red matter, that was in Star Wars. I mean, Star Trek. Yeah. Back to fiber optics are in cable wires. Think about it, people. We found the Africa mines. If you look on it, there's asteroids. There's three different asteroids in South Africa. Three different types, maybe four or six. I think there's seven asteroid hits. That I think there's three that hit in South America. I think there's four or five asteroids hit the freaking uh, Southwest, and they said that asteroids destroy the dinosaurs. It could be many theories. It could be uh, a virus. It could be no rain. Plant life died, and that's how the dinosaurs died off extinction. Or it could be the asteroids and comets. You know, look at okay. Another thing is look at the ice age. We're sooner or later a couple of years we're supposed to go in the ice age because we're over well on our due on our time in the earth. Think about it. Every several thousand years, it heats up, it cools down, heats up, cools down, heats up, cools down, heats up, cools down. And part of the reason is if you look at the moon, it used to be a planet, but it collided with the earth. Yeah, and that's why it's floating around. But if you look at it, all it's going to do when it floats away, it's going to flip the axis. North's going to be south, south's going to be north. It's going to be like Indiana and Ohio. It's basically going to be the equator again. Now it moved. So if you think about it, people, we're all learning from space. We're learning how to build things from scratch. Now, also talking about unobtainium. Unobtainium's over between, I think it's about between 20 elements on the planet. People use carbon titanium. They use carbon, it's like carbon fiber mixing with titanium. And they use it in the zondas, the hydras and stuff. But back to what I'm talking about space, people. Yes. Okay, if people don't really believe in aliens, then how in the heck is there landing sites way up in the mountains, 20 to 60,000 feet? They had little runways. People, they actually got runways. Go figure, look at Stonehenge. Stonehenge, they say that's also a portal to a place, another dimension. When look at the three triangles, the three pyramids. They're equal with the Orion's belt. It's they've been reading stars for hundreds of thousands of years to tell you the time, tell you the date, when's harvest season, yada 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 yada. Then look at today. We have adapted several thousand years from learning basic utensils to the caveman but inventing the wheel to the first people in which is the caveman invented fire. Then we have people inventing the torches. Then you have yada yada yada. Then what I mean yada yada yada, it goes from time of from metalworking, which you build swords, you can build armor during the Knights of the Round Table. You know, the Knights of the Round Table is real. Same, they actually found the ship, Noah's Ark. They actually found it. It's in the mountains around Jerusalem. Jerusalem. It's actually there. They want to take it out, but they're afraid it's going to fall apart. It's from the Great Flood. That's why Jesus is real. God is real. And Satan's there is a heaven, there's a hell. And trust me, you guys, I'd rather everybody go to heaven. I can't. I yeah. I think I died a long time ago and came back. I know that's a fucked up situation. I never told anybody that. Yeah. Um. Long story short, people, look at it. I'm wondering too. What's at the bottom of the oceans? What's at the bottom of the Marianas Trench? The Marianas Trench is over 10 miles deep. It's like, imagine you get from the bottom of it to the top. Before the water, you can put Mount Everest in that motherfucker and it'll be to the tip. You could take it, think it's 2 or 3 Statue of Liberties can fit in that some bitch. That's how big it is. Excuse my language. But yeah, just when you learn you can learn a lot. Would be actually across like about space through the oceans too, people through submarines. You